Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. So, yeah, today was a rainy day. I really need to wash my hair, my extensions, and everything. But, I really should have made this video a while ago. But I finally, have my stuff mostly together inside this apartment. So I feel like I can talk now. Gotta make a video about my job. So, for you guys, of course, if you're on Patreon, I go into more detail about my work and about my dating life. Gotta minimalize, or whatever you want to call it, the stuff that I put here, because y'all some snitches. I don't trust nobody. But yeah, anyway, just to explain this for anybody that's new here, the way that these journals go are, I talk about things that happen in my real day-to-day life, tell you my real thoughts, real feelings on things that I can't really say, and yeah, just share what it's like being in Japan from my perspective as a foreigner to you. So anyway, there's a few things that I want to talk about. One, you're gonna see, well, before this video gets posted, more than likely, or maybe not. I don't know which order I'm gonna do things in, because unlike Patreon, I don't have to do these regular YouTube videos in order, do I? But yeah, I'm just so amazed. I'm gonna stop talking about this because I'm just gonna continue to get comments like this. But I had another person say LOL, so much negativity in this video, blah blah blah. And it was on the video about needing a degree, and it's I don't understand. I swear this must be a Western thing. I hate even using the term Western as an American myself, but it's why do y'all have this whole, maybe it's a liberal thing. I don't know if it's liberal and Western or if it's just Western. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Excuse my language. But, sorry, I got food in my mouth. Gotta be ghetto and get some tissue. Mind your business. I had some miso soup. But anyway, yeah. Why do people like hearing lies? I don't understand that. So I'm thinking to myself, it's not a matter of purposefully being negative. It's called telling you the truth. Why does it matter how the truth is told to you? It would be one thing if I'm talking about something sensitive and personal, like somebody's weight, somebody's height, somebody's appearance, somebody's background, life, whatever. In those circumstances, yes, tone, delivery, that type of stuff does matter. But we're talking about education here to first world country people. I'm not talking to people that are living in some poverty, third world developing country, or at least for the most part, I assume not. You have access to an education. You have the ability to go to college. You don't need to come from money. I did not come from money. You have community college. You have scholarships. You have loans. There's all different types of ways so you can get a degree. How is that being whatever you want to call it? And then forget about that. F that. Let's say that it was considered as rude and offensive to talk about that with that type of tone. Okay, does it change the fact that it's facts? Why are y'all trying to go around it? You can paint it however you want to. You can say whatever you want to about my delivery of how I said it, but the facts remain there. Y'all so fascinated with, K-pop and J-pop, and y'all fetishizing over Asian men and Asian women, and y'all have this fantasy that going to Japan is going to change your life and everything's going to be so much better, blah, blah, blah. And even for those of you that think you've accepted the fact that Japan is not some fantasy land, when you really talk to people that, believe they're not one of those people, you find out that they are. And that's fine. I think we all had that phase before. But the sad thing is, a lot of you all that are so buttered in the comments about this stuff, y'all my age or older. At least when I was stupid like that, I was 18, 17 years old. Y'all dummies and y'all 20s plus. 20, 30, 40-year-olds. I cannot possibly be the first person to tell you that you need to have a bachelor's degree to get by in life with ease. And then y'all so stupid and easily gullible. Y'all love listening to the people that got useless degrees that talk you out of going to school. And then you really believe that having a degree is a waste of money. I already made videos talking about the stuff, so I'm not going to go there with you. But to give you some examples, getting degrees in things like design, gaming, stupid things like that. What type of jobs are you going to get? How many people do you think also have a degree in that can run circles around you? Okay. Of course they can't find a job. Y'all use people that have super specific weird degrees in overcrowded markets, and then y'all be like, oh, well, I'm not going to school because I know all these people and they have a degree and they still can't get a job. Then you also have to consider, what are these people doing to get a job? A lot of y'all, younger millennials and Gen Z too, because now y'all done with school as well. Y'all come into this and y'all expect to have some high paying job right off the bat with no experience. I want somebody to hire you strictly based off of your education. And that is never how it's worked. You need an internship. You need work experience. There are tons of catch-22s. Welcome to adulthood. That's how it works. And then forget about finding a job. As I said before, my channel is not to show you how to be the exception to the rule, the one person that did it this way, or even to be the tons of people that do it whatever way. Do you want to be the person that's living here making 2,500 yen a month indefinitely? Or do you want to be the person living here making 500,000 yen plus per month? Okay, then you need a degree. Because I'm sorry to break it to you, but unless you are one of the few people here that start their own successful business, you are not going to be able to live inside of a decent place. Do you see my apartment that I showed you in my previous video, etc.? Okay, you will never be able to afford something like that if you do not have a degree. I promise you. The only way you're going to do that is if you start your own business, and if you're lucky enough to even be able to do that. Because you need money for that too. And it's hard to get money together when you have no education. This is Asia. Degrees and certificates matter. I don't care what you heard from the Western world. I don't care about what billionaires, etc. have. They are not you. And the reality is, everybody can't do it that way. So while you might be the one lucky person that gets to do that, how many other people are going to be able to do what you're doing? Not many. And forget about if you're able to do it. Okay, how long can you keep this going? You're more than likely going to be stuck at whatever company sponsored your visa because you're going to have a hard time finding another job. Nobody wants to hire a loser that doesn't have a degree. I'm sorry to keep real with you and be blunt. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. I was a dummy like you. I didn't have a degree when I came here. I looked for every way to come to Japan without one online. I already made videos on that. Said it in that video that person left that comment on. So I'm done entertaining. That's what this video is supposed to be for. God, my head itches and it took these extensions out. But, sorry for being ghetto. Back on subject. Who just messaged me? Uber, trying to steal my money again. Okay. But anyway, my point of this video was, I want to talk about work. See, y'all got me off subject. Man, I hate being put inside of a situation. Like, this happens at every job that I have. I swear, like, it kills me. I hate having to keep my mouth shut and not feeling comfortable standing up for what I really want to say or really believe in. But to be honest, while she's not my co-teacher, the girl that has the classroom next to mine, we pretty much do a lot of stuff together. She's really nice, really cool. She's a white girl from South Africa. She has the exact same personality as me, and it's really scary. So she has like the same problem as me, where like she tries to avoid stepping on people's toes, but it oftentimes ends up making her have to, put up with things that she doesn't want to put up with. So, yeah. One of the problems that I had when I first started working, well, not first started working, but shortly after, was that, not shortly after, when I first came back, because they had gotten so used to me not being there, I had to like reestablish that I am the teacher. I am your boss, basically, sort of. So, that's what I kind of hate. Like, this is why I never want to be like a true like manager. So like, I am in charge of my assistant teachers, and I have more than one, which is a weird experience for me. I have 2 different assistant teachers, which is not very fun, because one of them is only there Monday and Friday, and the other one's there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which is fine, because at least technically the days are clustered and grouped together. But the downside to this is, it makes it confusing for me to establish things like rules, procedures, etc., because they don't get to experience much of it. Technically, the one that's here for 3 days, that's a lot of the week. Kind of, but you know what I mean? I can't really explain it. So anyway, the problem that I had was the Japanese teacher, and so my patrons know what I'm talking about, the girl that like really helped me out with my visa problems that I was having a couple months ago. When I came back, I had to look for everything. So both her and my boss pretty much were taking turns with taking over my class, because they had no idea how long it was going to take. They just knew it was going to take about a month. So what looked like happened was that they pretty much took turns, with taking over my classroom. which was fine. But the problem that I had is when I came back, for some reason they got the bright idea to move my stuff, and it really made me angry. But I had to keep that to myself. I have OCD, keep that in mind. I had a big thing, like a 2 liter of water, and I had some tea and like a smaller, pet bottle of water. And they put it down on the step stool thing. And I'm thinking, like, why the fuck would you put my water on something that people step on? So, like, fuck it. It has a cap on it. It's still closed. I hope nobody opened it. And at least it's not upside down. Whatever. But I'm thinking, like, the floor at this place is dirty. And come on, it's a step stool. Like, how would you feel if I moved your shit there? This is my fucking desk. Keep my stuff on my desk, god damn it. Excuse my language. But I'm thinking to myself, like, there was literally no reason to move my stuff off of my desk. But whatever, I can't argue with it. It's my boss, and it's kind of weird. She's not an assistant teacher, but she kind of acts as an assistant teacher at times too. So when she doesn't have anything to do, she essentially acts as like a floater teacher, and so she occasionally like helps out with the classrooms. But her job is basically, she doubles as the Japanese and music teacher and also as the rules and regulations person, because she's the only regular Japanese person that works there. There's other Japanese people, but basically in a nutshell, her job is to make sure that we're following the rules, to operate a school, a kindergarten. Well, it goes beyond kindergarten, but you know what I mean. I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I'm just speaking from my perspective. So anyway, I love her. She's really nice, and I think I made a good impression on her when I first met her, but I feel like I ended up stepping on her toes a little bit as we were talking. So she called herself like running me through the day, how everything goes. And she was telling me stuff as though I needed to follow the way it had always been done. I'm thinking like, that's cute. That's how you guys chose to do it. But this is my classroom and I'm doing it this way. So we're changing it now. And I felt like when I was saying that, of course I didn't say it that way. I'm talking bluntly to you all. I said it much nicer. But I'm thinking to myself like, all you have to do is tell me where my stuff is, how to do stuff. I don't need your advice on what time of day things are done, when it's done, or how you want to do it, or what you let the students do. So, for example, they have these little diary things that they have in Japan, which is super annoying because I don't think we have these in the US. It's literally a journal where every day at real Japanese schools they give it to these kids. This is a little bit strange for an international school. International schools don't normally do this. Normally with international schools, they either have a blog or they have like some sort of weekly thing, not a daily thing. Well, at this school, they have daily journals. And so, did my kids have a daily one? I remember they had like a little pouch thing, but I don't think that was every day. I have to think back to that. Whatever. Anyway, every single day, you're supposed to like write notes on everything, like including if your kid pooped. Like, come on, kindergarten age kids? I get it for babies. So I'm not bashing this company. I love my job. This is just standard in Japan, but it's super annoying from a teacher perspective. It's fine at this school because I don't have a ton of students, but when you have a lot of kids, it's annoying as hell because you have to check every single diary, put a sticker in every single one, initial any messages the parents leave, reply back to them, in writing, and you have to write it where it's clear enough because, mind you, they're talking to you in, second language, second or third, English. So she was like telling me that, the students only put the sticker themselves and telling me that, I guess this is normally handled in the morning. And I'm thinking like, okay, that's cute, but for me, I don't have time to actually sit down and look through all the journals and write stuff until lunchtime. So I would rather use up my lunch and do it then. And the thing about this job is my work ends really early. So my lunch is technically paid. I get to eat lunch with the kids, but the problem is it's not a true break. So because we don't take our break physically at work, we get to go home and do it. So it's really a trade-off. I'm not stupid. In a nutshell, it's a cheap way for the school to avoid needing to use an assistant teacher to cover breaks and have to rotate that way. But at the same time, it allows you to leave work an hour early, and I ain't complaining in that sense. So my last job was so petty. While I didn't like working at abroad, they really only gave us 40 minutes, and they made a big deal about it when they found out that I was taking an hour because nobody's really keeping tabs on it. And I thought I had an hour because I had an hour during summer school. And they're like, well, you're supposed to have an hour if you come at such and such time. And I'm like, I've been coming before 8:30 every day. I was normally getting to the school around like 7 or even 6:30, way before even the principal's there. I was having to wait outside, go to McDonald's, etc., because I was living all the way in Kobe and working in Osaka, and I didn't want to get in those crowded ass JR trains. So I would go all the way to Yotsubashi Station. I would walk down to McDonald's or Starbucks, and I would sit there and wait, and I'd even wait outside, the building in the hallway, etc., until the principal would come to open up the school. So anyway, where was I? So yeah, so I was fine with that, because at first I tried to like nicely just say like, oh, okay, oh yeah, now I want to do it such time, and then she kind of like tried to mention it again, like, oh, like they've been doing it such way, and I'm thinking like, sweetheart, I get it, but this is going to be my classroom, and this is the way that I want to do it. So again, I can't talk that way. I said it nicely, and I don't want to talk that way anyway, but I just hate that people don't just listen to me, because then it puts me in a position where I have to seem like a bitch. So then it didn't just end at that. Then the next problem that I had, beyond the whole journals thing, they didn't have assigned seating. I made assigned seating. Like, why am I giving them free reign to sit wherever they want to? Normally, kindergarten age kids, really elementary kids, period, having free reign to sit where you want to doesn't normally come until high school or junior high school or high school. You don't normally get to sit wherever you want to when you're in kindergarten. Secondly, I'm trying to get used to all these students' names, and I gotta keep it real with you. I was having trouble telling the difference between my students, because we ain't finna go there. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, shit, they had the same problem. If you put me in a room with, 3 different niggas, they gonna think we all the same bitch. So, excuse my language. Let me stop cursing for this video. End up not being able to be monetized. But anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, I can't tell them apart for the time being. I'm trying to get to know everybody. Now I can, by the way. But there's a few reasons why I want to assign seats. One, it helps me to easily get to know my students. I learn their personalities, what they're like working together, etc. With the person that they're with. I can choose who's going to be, their partner in line. I used to refer to them as book buddies when I worked at abroad. So I'm probably going to use that term again here. Just little things like that. So yeah, and so I felt like that kind of didn't rub the right way too. So I'm thinking to myself like, see, this is why I like to work by myself, because then you don't have to explain everything that you're doing to someone else. And then on top of that, it felt really weird because the dynamics had changed. When I was last there, she was brand new and she started a couple of days after me, so I was giving her the ropes on everything, and I really went out of my way to make her feel comfortable more than anybody else, and she seemed to have really liked me. But then it felt like when I came back, it almost seemed like I was a jerk in her eyes or something. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't, because I know how Japanese girls think. I could read like the unwritten with her. So I could tell she was trying to keep it cordial, but like in the back of her mind, she was thinking like, why is she changing this stuff? Why is she doing whatever? Why not just follow it the way it is? And I'm thinking like, okay, but I'm the actual teacher. This is my classroom. And more than likely, I have more experience than her. And I don't know, well, I do know about the other girl. Even the girl that's like, she's not my co-teacher, but I'm just going to call her my co-teacher to make it easier. My co-worker that's next door. We technically share a classroom, but their lockers are split in half. So she teaches the grade under me, and I'm the grade above her. And the problem that I have with her too, she has no idea about my degree. I think it's really interesting that people say things like in a braggy like way without necessarily, I don't know if she noticed that it came off in that type of way. I don't care because I have a degree in education too. But she used to work at an Eikaiwa, and she kept like referring back like what she went through at training and talking about college and that and the other, and about how she's doing what she went to school for, blah blah. And I'm thinking like, yeah, me too. Except, unlike you, I didn't, stay with being in Eikaiwa for X amount of years. And so it almost felt like she knew my YouTube channel, because she was talking about how she had stayed with the same company for 4 years, and how, it's, not a bad thing or whatever. And so, I'm agreeing with it. I'm thinking like, yeah, it's not a bad thing. And I'm thinking to myself like, girl, that's a stupid thing. You stay with the same company for 4 years? Like, what do you get out of it? That's what I was trying to say to you all. So I'm not trying to trash talk her. In one sense, it's great. I said this to you all too. It's good when you consistently stay with something. But the problem is that when you think about your reasoning for it, in that circumstance, I totally disagree. We've been so conditioned by our parents and our grandparents that you need to stay with the same company to make your resume look good and to look good to other people, your peers. But the reality is you have one life to live, and you spend most of your time at your job. And I said this on, on Instagram, I think. If you don't like your job, if you're not happy with your job, you're not happy with your life, because you live there. Your work is what school used to be. You spent all day at school. But unlike that, school, you didn't get paid. And at school, similarly, you didn't have a choice to leave. But in this case, you do have the choice to leave. If you are not happy with your job, you get up and go. They are paying you for your time. You're wasting your time there. Especially working for an Kiowa, ain't gonna pay you shit. The highest Kiowa salaries go up to is 3,000 USD a month. That's considered good. You ain't never finna get paid no $4,000 a month working at no Kiowa. You ain't gonna get no $5,000 a month. Why would you stay there for that long? Especially when you have a degree and you're white. But I'm going to keep it real with her being South African and, English not being her first language. That could be part of it. And, just beyond that, forget about English being your first language. The way it works here in Japan, I said this before, it's going to sound bad, but I'm keeping it real. If you're not from one of the big 5 countries, you're not seen as a native English speaker, even if it is your native language. For example, people from the Caribbean, while Jamaicans do speak English at a native level, they're native English speakers, that is their language. They're not classified as native English speakers by the majority of companies here. Some companies understand and they do not care, they know that, but you'd be amazed how many people are ignorant. I could even say myself, I didn't know what language Jamaicans spoke for quite some time because I don't think about Jamaica. I don't care about Jamaica. I have no interest in going there. I like some of y'all food. I don't like all your food. And I'll pass some oxtail on little nasty shit. Just keeping it real. But I do like jerk chicken. That is good. Why are my lips so dry? But yeah, so anyway, where was I at? Now that I offended everybody. Yeah. So, I did my own thing with that. But then it just feels so weird because, like I was saying, like, now she was in a position where she knew the kids' names, she knew their personalities, etc. And so she was really excited about me being back and was being really nice. But then it was like I was having to change a lot of stuff right before our eyes. So, for example, she had all of her stuff just spread out on my desk, like this is her desk. And she knew I was coming back. And so even after I came back, you would think, like, okay, the teacher is back, let me move my stuff. Nope. She just had everything spread out there and acted like a deer in headlights when I started I tried to nicely do it, but there was no way to nicely do it because it was like a lot of crap outside the classroom needed to be cleaned, things needed to be rearranged. She was like a deer in headlights when I moved her stuff and she was like trying to look for things. And so I'm thinking, like, this is why I wish people used their own motherfucking brain. Why would you make a nest on my desk? That rhymes. Or in my classroom, because like she just completely spread out her stuff, had her bags and stuff sitting in my chair, her jacket there, everything. And even after I was there, she made no attempt to move it. And so I caught myself standing around, pretending like I didn't want to sit down, and I'm just thinking to myself, am I the only person that has these type of manners where I instantly would feel like, oh, I'm sorry, let me move my stuff? Nope. Instead, not only did she not move it, when I moved it, she didn't say anything. But it was very obvious that she felt frustrated that she was going to have to find a new place to put her stuff. And I'm thinking, like, you are not my assistant teacher. And you're not only assisting and helping out in my classroom. So why did you decide that not only does your stuff stay here while you're there, why did you decide this is your permanent place to put your things? And so even I have this sort of like shelf area in my classroom. Well, she decided, oh, well, there's a whole shelf here, so let me just make my nest right here. And so I'm not going to lie. I don't really care about it. She could leave her stuff there because I don't use that shelf. But like even just that, so she didn't tell me it was there, but like she told me in a I'm doing this, accept it type of way. And so she's really cool. I could literally move her stuff and put it on the floor and be like, oh, do you mind keeping it here? And she would lie and be like, oh yeah, sure. So I feel bad because she literally is like, she's one of those type of Japanese girls I would probably really be friends with if we didn't work together. But that's the part that like kills me on the inside because I don't want to be mean to her. Like she didn't do anything bad. I just hate that she puts me in a situation where I have to come off as being rude to her. But it's like, this is my desk. This is my classroom. This is my personal space. I'm sorry that you don't have any. Like even with the computer. She came up to me and told me that she was going to need the computer for later on at day because she had to get some stuff ready for her Japanese class. And I'm thinking like, sweetheart, I just came back. Did it not cross your mind that maybe I need the computer a lot too? And so I get it. She got so used to using my stuff, my computer, my whatever. But I'm thinking like, did it never cross your mind this entire month that I was gone? What am I going to do when the teacher comes back? I guess you just thought we were going to be sharing our stuff. Like what? So again, I'm nice. I don't mind explaining this to her. But the problem that I have is when I have to do that, when I'm put in a position where I'm the one that has to do the explaining, it makes me seem like a jerk to the other person. And it's like, how am I a jerk for just setting boundaries with my own crap? This is my room. That'll be the equivalent to, like, I don't know, you being my friend and me letting you crash at my place. You're staying at my place because you don't have a place, right? And instead of you being like, oh, where can I stay? Where can I make room? Let's say you get to my house first. I, gave you the password, gave you the key, you came in. And you decide, oh, I'm going to put my bed right here. I'm going to roll out my sleeping bag. And then when I come home, I say, oh, well, actually, I use this area to do yoga. So do you mind if I move your sleeping bag over there? And then you act, like you do it because you don't have a choice because it's mine. But then you're like secretly, kind of pissed off. Like I was here first type thing. Like, this is where I wanted to put it. And that's how I feel with that. It's like, she literally made, it wasn't my entire desk, but she literally had like sticky notes on the desk. She had a whole area on, like a good 25% of my desk that was taken up by her stuff that she had just spread out. Her baskets, her everything. And so again, do not get me wrong. I get it. She needs time to move it. I just came back and they didn't really know what day I was going to be back. I totally understand. But it's like, okay, I've been in the classroom all day. Like, clearly you're not getting the hint that this is the time to move your crap. And it wasn't just that she didn't think, oh, I need to move my stuff. It was the fact that when I started moving it for her, she seemed a little bit irritated. And I'm thinking, like, how the fuck do you think I feel? I came back, y'all put my drink bottle on a fucking step stool. And these kids are bad. Since I came back, some of the first grade students that came in, they come into my classroom. Really, they come into my co-teacher's classroom, but they end up being nosy and coming into mine too and making small talk with me. They opened up my assistant teacher's drink bottles and spilled them all over the floor and table just for the fun of it, just to be baby kids. So I'm thinking to myself, for all I know, because my drinks were open, I think that's for me, they could have opened up my stuff and been playing around with it too, or at least touching it. And mind you, these are little kids. There's no hot water in Japan either. These kids be digging in their butt, going to the bathroom without washing their hand, picking their nose, everything. I don't want them touching my shit. It's bad enough it's sitting on my desk. You gonna put it basically on the floor? Would you be okay if I put your drink bottle? And she just nicely explained it like it was okay. And it's not just her fault. It's not just her. It's my boss too. Because they both took part in that. So that really kind of pissed me off. Because I'm thinking that should just be common sense. You don't move somebody's stuff there. I get it. You might be thinking if this were your classroom, you wouldn't put your drinks there. But my stuff was on the edge of the table. Who the fuck is using that space? Nobody. And let's say you did need that area. Okay. There are shelves in my classroom. Why did it not cross your mind? Maybe I can put it on a shelf. Nope, that would make too much sense. Let's put it outside of the area behind your desk. The area where the kids play in. Let's put it over there. And so, of course, I act like I'm okay with that. But then I move your stuff off of my desk to make space. And all of a sudden, people are offended. And even when I move her bag and stuff off of my chair, I'm thinking to myself, I get it. You got used to putting your purse and your stuff here. But this is not your desk and personal area. You're not my assistant. You're technically almost in a position over me in a strange way, but not quite. She's under me, but equal to me at the same time. I can't really explain it. So, again, it's not just her, it's my direct boss, too, because they both had turns on taking over my class. But basically, in a nutshell, because the video can go on forever, I hate being put in a situation where I'm trying to set boundaries with my own stuff. But by setting boundaries with my own stuff, it forces me to come off as an a-hole to other people. So from her perspective, it looked like I was just being petty and bitchy because I wanted to move her stuff off of my desk. But I'm thinking yes, well, it might just be a couple of containers. My desk is not that big. Putting your crap there is making clutter for me. And because it's not my stuff, I can't move it the way I want to move it either. So I'd rather it just not be on my desk. It's bad enough it's going to be in my classroom, I guess. I think her stuff is still there. But at the very least, I want my desk to myself. And so even with the computer, you have to nicely say to her, I need this after school too. I have to put my foot down. And like I said, I didn't rub it the right way either. I'm thinking I never even thought about that. But I'm okay, I offered you my computer while you were in my classroom when we last met because you were there with me for the day. I don't want you using my computer on a regular basis. And I get it, it's not really mine. The school owns it. And sure, during classes like Japanese, etc., yeah, sure, she can use my computer. But after school, this is my prep time. If I'm not using the computer, what am I doing? The only other option is, I normally do all my grading during the daytime. They're just kindergarten age kids. putting up posters and decorations I could do for right now, but what's going to happen in the future? And so I hate having to think that way, but it's like I have to set boundaries and crap now. And so sure enough, by doing that, going to my boss, was like, look, like, she needs a computer, but I really just have to work. And so she wasn't going to tell me or anything like that, but I just wanted to make sure she realized I wasn't being a jerk towards her. I wanted to give her the help she needed. And so my boss was like, oh, we have student computers she can use. And I'm thinking like, ding, 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 there we go. Like, why didn't you think to do this yourself? She just assumed that, oh, this is the computer that I get to use too. So I feel bad because the other thing too is that I will say I don't understand why my company doesn't give her own room. Like, she should have her own space. She should have her own computer, and she should have her own, like, her own chair, her own desk, etc. Because she's doing not just two different classes, but two different types of classes, music and Japanese, for the entire school. So that's a lot of work to do. To have no desk and no personal computer, I cannot be her. So I assumed that maybe at this point she might have put her foot down and asked some stuff, because it seems like she pretty much stays in the first grade classroom. I guess that's her new little space now. But I felt really bad because I feel like she really would prefer to be in my classroom, because she kind of felt unwelcome and like weaseled her way and like, moved out or whatever. So I tried to make it sound better, and I asked if she wanted to have some space to put stuff up on my wall, etc. So she never asked about it again, so to be honest, I'm going to just go ahead and put my own stuff up because I could use the wall space. But I just hate that so much. I hate having to think so much about this type of stuff. And so, of course, she's been acting totally cordial with me. She speaks to me, doesn't act funky, funny, or anything like that. And she's a Sagittarius, too. I think she's a Sagittarius. Yeah. So, she has a good personality. But I know that while she won't say it to me, I'm good at reading Japanese people's feelings. I know that she calls herself being hurt and offended by that. And if I were to say it to her, she'd deny it. Be like, no, I wasn't thinking like that. Just being fake and phony. It's like, yeah, you were, girl. So she's helped me since then, too, and spoken to me and everything. But it just kills me on the inside, because it's like I said, I just want to set boundaries. And it's not because I don't want to be taken advantage of, but I want people to understand this is my classroom. Yes, I get it. This is how the old teacher did it, but I'm not that person. I'm me. And this is how I want to do it. This is what works for me. And then even like space-wise, I already have limited space. And especially with my desk, this is the space in which students know you, and I'm still going to train them that, because clearly they weren't taught that directly. You do not go behind my desk. You do not touch anything on my desk. And so, not her, but I'm talking about, from the kids' perspective. So I'm thinking, like, this is already, I'm dealing with limited space to put my stuff, on and put things at. The last thing that I want is to have 2-3 other teachers with their crap here, too. So, that's it. This video's done. I'm over it. This happened a while back, but I noticed that it changed the dynamic of my relationship with her. Because, she talks to me every time she comes in the morning. She's always really happy. She helps me with anything I need help with. But I just feel like I have like a weird gut feeling. I feel bad about it, and I feel like I damaged my relationship with her just by trying to set my own boundaries, just by being honest, because I hate having to sit back. Because the real me wants to sit back and be like, oh, okay, you can keep your stuff here and just take up, a whole chunk of my desk. Of course I don't mind. Of course you can use my desk instead of, my co-teacher who hardly has anything on her desk. Of course you can just put your stuff here. So, why am I getting all of these emails from my phone company? I just paid my bill. Alright, but yeah, I just feel so aggravated. So, I hate that, the real me wants to be shy about it and avoid saying anything because I don't want to offend anybody. Like, for example, one part of me was like, what, the kids used to putting their stickers on it themselves. But I was like, no, I don't want to do that because I've seen how this happens before. They can put the sticker on the wrong date. And then who's going to get the blame for it? I will. They'll be like, oh, my kid doesn't have a sticker for this day. It's, it's like it's basically a second attendance record. I don't want to go through that because the parents are so petty. I missed the sticker for one of the kids, which is probably because they had it in their backpack and I didn't see it. And so I'm thinking, it doesn't matter because this isn't the official attendance. I have an actual attendance book, but whatever. I'm supposed to put the sticker there, too. It's dumb crap like that. So I'm thinking to myself, I want to make sure that I personally did it. Because the other problem, too, with them doing the sticker themselves is it makes it really easy for me to miss any notes the parents gave. Because if I look at their diary and my brain, once it has the sticker, it's done. I want to do all of that myself. Their job is to put it down on the table. Their job is to pick it up from me when I say it's ready. That's it. I don't care what the other rules were. And then even like in the morning, she was talking about how, if they don't have any structure, anything to do, they'll just run around, whatever. And I'm thinking like, that ain't my problem. That's cute. That's how y'all did it. But I'm sorry to break it to y'all. I ain't white and I ain't Asian. I'm black, okay? I know how to get kids in line. We don't do that baby kid crap. You gonna learn to look for me. You gonna get yelled at. And you gonna learn how to follow rules. Y'all let y'all kids rip and run, do whatever they want to do. I don't do that crap. Y'all couldn't survive a day being raised by a black mom. Shoot, even a black father, black parent, period. So, I got what she was trying to say. And I did start having to do work in the morning, but not for that reason, just because they're so behind in their work to get them caught up. But I'm thinking like, they shouldn't be conditioned where they need to have work in order to not be bad kids. You're literally teaching them if there's no work, you can rip and run. You're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing. They need to learn, look, you're going in, to first grade. You need to learn how to follow rules. You need to learn how to keep your hands to yourself, how to not play around with toys unless you have permission. So, and it's not just, her. My boss was doing this too. And so one of the, one of my coworkers, another white guy, he was even talking about how she sends students upstairs or whatever, if they need to calm down, whatever. And then even with them talking about how they hold students in their lap, whatever. There's this little boy inside my class that they were saying, he gets really angry, he turns red. And I saw him do that too. I almost laughed in his face. I was thinking like, my mama and my daddy would have knocked your little ass out. He got angry, turned red, started yelling, was refusing to do stuff, was saying no. I did it right back to him. I was like, have you lost your mind? Who you think you talking to like that? I can make an angry face too. He turned back to yellow so fast. I don't play them games. And so they were all talking to me about how bad he was and this, that, and the other, how he had this really, big breakdown type day. And I got what they were trying to say, but I'm thinking like, the reason why he's doing that is because you all are showing him that it's acceptable. I don't need to get your mama and daddy involved. You act crazy with me, I'll be crazy with you back. I can yell too. I can make crazy faces too. And you wanna know what it did? It stopped that crap. I nipped it in the bud. Y'all can be all politically correct. Oh, you shouldn't yell at kids, or oh, you shouldn't do whatever. That's how you raise school shooters. You are not supposed to be best friends with your students or with your children, for that matter. I don't even have no kids. And all of these people that don't know how to take care of children, or don't know how to discipline children, I should say, don't know what they're doing. Like, what do y'all do with y'all children at home? My mom would have knocked me out if I did that type of crap to her. And so I know he does it to his mom because I saw how he treats her. But I even told him, I was like, I'm not your mom. I don't know what other teachers or whatever let you do, but you ain't doing that crap with me because I am not the one. So, he's spoiled. He don't play that crap with me no more. Nope. He get mad at his little peers. And even then, I nip it in the bud then too. You gonna calm down. We ain't doing all of that crap. I ain't holding you in my lap and treating you like my baby. The best that I would do is I'll get down on my knees on your level and talk to you face to face. But I'm not gonna hold you back and be like, calm down. Look me in the eyes. Relax. First of all, you really should be careful with, I won't say call it PDA, whatever you want to call it. Physical touch dealing with students. I'm a girl, I can get away with a lot of stuff, but as a male teacher, you want to be very careful with things like that you did, because it's very easy for it to go into gray area or not so gray area, and it seemed like you're doing inappropriate things with the kids. That's something to keep in mind. Not to mention, most people don't want to have male teachers, especially with younger students. There are no men working with the younger kids at this school. But I've seen it in the past. And some parents will even directly say they don't feel comfortable with there being a male teacher over the class. So, yeah, that's all another story. Even though it's ironic, because male teachers seem to be the most fun when it comes to younger kids. They're normally the most energetic, goofy, clown-like, etc., which the kids like that. So, I'm like that too. But, I'm not as out there as even those teachers are. But at international school, I haven't seen that so much. But like Eikaiwa type schools, or more Japanese style, schools, the English lessons, the male teachers are normally more outgoing, crazy, fun, etc. But anyway, off of that, I'm done with this video for the 6,000th time. That's it. So yeah, I hope things become better. I mean, I guess there's no real damage to the relationship, like I said. It's just that I realized that she don't talk to me like that, and it seems like, she feels a little bit uncomfortable now. But I'm like, what was I supposed to do? It's my desk. It's my desk. It's my classroom. How are you going to put your stuff and spread it all over my desk, and I'm just to be okay with it and be like, oh. And if that's not enough, you want to tell me how to run the classroom. You put your stuff where my stuff belongs and move my stuff to make room for your stuff. Do you not see the problem with that? Then on top of that, if that's not enough, then you think you can just use my computer. She literally told me she was going to need it after school. And I'm thinking, like, you do realize this is my computer, right? Yes, the school owns it, but it's mine to use for my classroom. This is not your classroom. You are not my assistant. And even if you were my assistants don't even touch my computer or my desk without me asking them to. So, alright, I'm done with this video. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? Like, you get put inside a situation where no matter how you say it, because mind you, I'm talking to you on YouTube. Of course, I did not say to her, this is my desk, this is my classroom. You tell me. I did not do any type of stuff. I said everything nice. I was like, oh, you know what? I want to do it this way. This is easier for me. That's how I put it. Or, oh, I actually need to use the computer afterwards, so maybe we could find another computer. Just nice to say it. But I'm thinking to myself, like, I wouldn't even have the balls to say or ask this stuff. But then again, like I always said, of course, when I do it, I seem like the bad guy. I'm the jerk. I'm selfish. I'm inconsiderate. Even with my own stuff, I can't win. So I'm done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. You can @ me on Snapchat at Comic the Savior. Follow me on TikTok at Comic the Savior. And you can read my blog at comic95.com. And yeah, if you enjoy these type of journal videos, I highly suggest you become a patron. You can join my Patreon for only $5 a month. The links for everything are down in the description box. If you want to watch more free journals, I have tons of them here on YouTube as well. Go to my YouTube channel's homepage. I have videos that are more like this, talk about work, dating life, etc. Give you some insight into my day-to-day life there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.